I've decided what I'm going to put in this final row. Thought about it. We pretty much have everything planted so far that we're really going to want, except the only thing I didn't do is I didn't plant sweet corn. And you know, my sugar's been going lower and lower, and actually it's been trending low. I'm on a third of the dosage of insulin I was as before, and one type eliminated entirely. I'm going to allow myself a little bit of sweet corn this year in moderation, so that's what I'm going to plant in this row. And I'm going to do a triple row. I have paid attention to what the farmers around here do. The seed packets will tell you to spread them about 18 inches apart. You get out to these cornfields, and even where they're raising sweet corn, I notice they have those things stacked up within 6 inches of each other. Now, I'm not going to push it that much, but I am going to go about 8 to 10 inches apart on my seeds, and I'm going to go 3 rows across. I want the plants rubbing each other's shoulders as they grow, and it's going to help them support each other. We're still probably going to have to drive some long stakes around here and go around them with some heavy cord, just as a safeguard against them getting knocked down by the wind, because we do get some healthy winds here in Ohio. But yeah, 3 rows of sweet corn right on top of each other, and you see I just cut a trench. So I'm going to run my first row of seeds in there, and then as I make the middle trench, it's going to cover the first row, and then we'll do the end, and that will cover the middle row. So we'll come back after we've gotten that done. Okay, just want to show you what I've done. The seeds are those little pink things you see. They're treated with a fungicide, but I've got them about every 6 inches or so, maybe 4 inches. The idea being I want a pretty good success rate here, so when they do break surface, and I know the ones that are going to germinate, not all of them do, then we're going to thin to every other plant, and that's going to give them enough room, and that's exactly how we did it last year. And as I said, that little patch back there where the sweet potatoes are, we got about 100 years or a little bit more out of that little patch, so we'll get enough. And corn looks nice growing. It's just a good crop to grow, so we're going to continue on now. As you see, those are ready to cover, and I'm not going to cover them as deeply as it looks like I'm going to, but all I'm going to do is start at the other end. But I'm going to show you, check the viewfinder here. Boy, it's hard to see in this sun. There we are, pan out. And as I make the middle trench, it's going to cover that first trench with just enough soil, just like that. And all I'm going to do is take the rake and knock everything flat, spread it out a little bit, and what I want is some loose soil to remain off the sides of the row, and that gives me soil to hit with the rake and hill my corn. You have to hill up corn as it grows, or it may start laying over on you. So that's some strategy, and we're going to get started and get this thing planted out. We've gotten a lot done today. Sun's getting low, and you see I'm casting a long shadow in the garden here, so I'll walk back here. Now, we watered everything in this plot for a good solid hour with the sprinkler, just to water everything in, and to the point we actually had standing water there in the walkways, so you know it's really good and saturated. It's important after you plant something, just don't give it a token watering. I mean, really water it in, and any voids that you've left in the soil just by doing your transplanting, they're going to get washed full of dirt. And like I said, that's really important. You don't need roots encountering a dry spot, and the roots will actually die in that dry pocket, so you don't want that. Got this entire back plot of the garden planted out, starting with the sweet potatoes, and you watch us put those in. And then here, these 2 rows, planted a lot of peppers, and that train whistle is going to get mighty loud, so I might have to shut up until it gets past. But lots of hot peppers, starting with this little row here. These are all jalapenos. You see some little, probably see some little dinky ones in there, but you know, not to worry, they're going to come right on up. And finish the row back there with some bell pepper, and then coming over here, continuing with the hot peppers. These are super chilies in the second row. Going on back, and then there is one the nursery sold us that is called the Carolina Reaper, supposedly the world's hottest pepper. I've had hot peppers, so I'm kind of eager to try this one. I'm not scared of them. I actually like them. Call it a death wish, I guess, but never met a hot pepper that I didn't like. And then coming over here, These are sweet banana peppers. Kim likes those a lot, and the bell peppers are pretty much for her, but we will do some stuffed pepper. And then some more jalapenos, because I'll eat jalapenos like candy just with every meal while they're fresh on the plant. And then finish back there in the back are more bell peppers. So we're going to get a good yield of both of those, and then came over here. These first in this long wider row, we have that's ambrosia cantaloupe. And when they start running off into the grass there, we're just going to take the runners, you kind of steer them back across the mound and just kind of let them zigzag. And we'll go ahead and let melons form in the rows. They'll pretty much cover that whole area with nothing but big leaves and keep everything shaded out. And then on that that very back, those two back there are spaghetti squash. And they run out pretty long too. And you just have to keep managing them and keep them steered to where they're going to be out of your way and out of each other's way. But you know, these runners and these two different kinds of plants, the melons and the spaghetti squash, you know, they can cross over each other. But the key is they need a lot of nitrogen, so we're going to be top dressing, which means just scattering compost around the tops as they start growing and their demand really starts coming on. Now spaghetti squash and to an extent some of the melons too, you can go and cover some of that stem with dirt just at various places in the garden, and they will form roots right there and help feed the entire plant. So spaghetti squash, my gosh, we stored that up to a year just down in the root cellar downstairs. And it is a really, if you cook it right and take your time, it really is a good substitute for pasta. I'm looking forward to it. I've always liked it, and I'm glad I decided to plant just a few and gave this a nice solid watering too. Just shut the sprinklers off. So everything is well watered in. Again, very important. And this is the corn row. 3 well-packed rows of sweet corn down through here. Yeah, the tomatoes, I'll show you one up close here. But when we trench planted those, of course, those growing tips were laying flat on the ground, and you see they've already turned the corner, and they're wanting to get up to where the light is. They will grow rapidly with that trench planting method. And as we get some green tomatoes, I will show you another trick that I have. All you need is a long kitchen knife, and I'll show you how to turn green tomatoes into red ones on the vine pretty darn quick. So just walking around giving you a little overview of what we've done today. I really hit it hard. I'm tired, but you know, it's a good kind of tired. Yesterday I did kind of wear myself out, and I can still do that. I mean, my stamina is not where I'd like it to be, but it's getting better. And this is the kind of thing that'll make it better. It's not real heavy work, but it's pretty continuous. So we're going to just keep at it until we're just strong, and that's the key. Just don't let up. If you're recovering from something like I am, like the surgery I had, that is the key. Stay with it. Push yourself a little bit, and your body will tell you when you're doing something that you shouldn't be, and you'll have to stop. But yeah, you got to be your own coach sometimes. So just keep at it. But you will get better. I didn't think so. 2-3 days after my surgery, the doctor said, you know, you're going to get better. I'm not going to get any better. I don't believe you. But, you know, of course you do. To never forget, you know, the lifestyle that led me there. I know the diabetes helped, but I did my part. So it's just, it's a constant reminder for me to, you know, not backslide. One time on this earth is, you know, all we're promised. So let's make the best of it. Let's stick around. Too many good people out there to experience, and their life is just worth living. It's the day after we planted all the garden here. Did pretty good. Keeping the dogs out the string fence. Of course, you see her. She's got her face real close to the string, so you know what that game's all about. If you watch the Shop Dog Sam knife video, you know exactly what that game's about. That little bad girl right there wants to bite that string in two. And she will. The string's got so many knots in it, it's not funny, but it's a game to her, isn't it? Goof. Yeah. Nothing but innocence. Went ahead and put the just the first tier of the trellis for the tomatoes, and that was actually, if you look, the cat I think is the cause of this. The other cat, the one that was here near the garden the other day. But you see here where, in their zeal to go after, you know, they don't go after Jasper at all, but they'll go after a neighborhood cat walking down the little alleyway back there. I don't know, maybe they don't think Jasper's a cat. You see the paw prints, and so to avoid any more damage to my row, you see they went across the corn here, and you know that corn's still going to sprout right up into the paw prints. But you know, we're going to try to video this garden. I want it to be semi nice looking, so we went in and put the trellis up. That will make those dogs turn the corner. Maybe in their younger days they could hurdle that, but no, they couldn't get over that with a ladder now. So but we'll go up several more layers or tiers on that trellis, and then we'll let them get up all the way to the height of those stakes. It's about a 5-foot stake, and when they get it that high, we just snip the growing tips off any branches of the tomatoes that get up that high. That stops their growing, and they can, you know, concentrate their energy on making their tomatoes at that point. But that is going to be enough, and you'll see that is going to be a solid green wall of tomatoes, and it's pretty strong. Those stakes are driven a good foot down into the row. And putting those together, I've got a screw into every one of them on the back side, so unifying all those stakes. So quite weighty. I've had tomatoes in the past pull down other types of staking methods, and this one seems to work really well. Keeps them all in a nice even plane, very easy to harvest. So if you notice, I don't know if it's just me, but those tomatoes look like they have put on, since we looked at them yesterday, I'm telling you, those tomatoes look like they have put on a good inch of growth, and maybe a little bit more. Look at that. That's the first one we planted there on video, and that was actually a total of 3 days ago now. That tomato's been in the ground for 3 days, and that's the one I showed you guys when I demonstrated how to trench plant. And yeah, that's probably 3 inches higher. They really just take off. It's been warm today, gotten to the 80s again, and it has on the last 3 days. And that warmth is just nothing but beauty to these tomato plants. They just love heat. So everything is planted out. It looks nice. We're just waiting for the installments are going to kind of slow down now, obviously, because we're waiting for a garden to grow. But I think that as it grows, we're going to have fun watching it get bigger and share it with you guys. Next project is going to be an asparagus bed. We ordered 20 large size and extra large 2-year-old crowns. Now, if asparagus is that's an exercise in patience, because we're going to plant them this year, and we're not going to harvest anything until the 3rd year, and then sparingly. And then after that 3rd year, you can pretty much eat all you want those first 6 weeks, 8 weeks of spear growth. But it's an investment in the future. We love asparagus. It's one of those superfoods. It's just amazing when you start reading about the whole concept of superfoods, these vegetables, and the ones that are. Well, this garden's full of them, and I don't expect to turn into Superman and fly, but you know, I feel like I have a second lease on life, and I want to hold on to it and just make the life I have left in me quality. So that's my aim. Healthy equals happy. So we certainly will video log this. If we see anything that you might find useful at all, you can look for an upload from us. But I sure thank you for watching and commenting on this series. Yeah, gardening's a passion of mine. I hope you catch the bug. You get so much reward out of it, and I do. Just watching these things grow. I'll come out here and have a cup of coffee in the morning and just look at the growth through the night, and it's just, you know, I get a charge out of it. So hopefully it comes through in the videos, and I hope I'm doing a good job just trying to document this. But I want to thank you for watching.